Welcome to the wasteland. Today I'm going to give you an apocalypse farm tour. It's mid-September here in Kelowna, British Columbia, Canada, and the smoke has rolled up north and it is looking very 2020 here right now. Despite all the gray and the smoke, it is still full on summer production here. We have all of our summer crops going, so I'm going to give you guys a tour of all the beautiful stuff we have before fall comes and steals it away. So stay tuned. We usually get our first frost here in mid-October, but it's looking like it's gonna come early this year. So I have to start the farm tour up here in the flower farm because this is probably the last farm tour where I can do that. Come my October one, this is all gonna be frosted and dead. The zinnias are still producing. This is why I love the zinnias. They just do not stop, but they have slowed down a lot. This amount of zinnias that I currently have here right now, I haven't picked anything for a week. You know, a month ago, this would have been filled. At this point, I kind of have to be a little bit more choosy about how much I pick. There's only going to be so many bouquets I can make a week at this point. You know, I like to be able to have 50 bouquets that we bring down to our Saturday farmers market, but at this point, I should probably keep it down to only 30. We have started getting cooler nights. We don't have those hot summer nights anymore. The temperatures are dipping down, and because of that, my dahlias are doing a lot better. They were starting to get bleached out and sad, and at this point, they're blooming again. They're looking really pretty. You know, some of these, I love them. I gotta get all my love in because they're gonna be gone so soon. And if I'm honest with myself, even here at the peak of them being beautiful and wonderful, there isn't gonna be this many next year. So I gotta enjoy the 150 while I still have them. I'm still obsessed with this piece of amaranth. This is my celosia patch, and if I'm honest, I've really struggled with growing this year, but despite that, it's so beautiful. We want to do a lot better with this in the years to come, and we want to grow a lot more of it. The vibrant, decadent colors that you can get on these plants, and the easy to grow, drought tolerant, as well as amazing vase life makes it something that, you know, I could use rows and rows of this. I don't know if it's because of the smoky skies or the shortening days, but almost every single bud on my sunflowers have opened up this last week, and they are just putting on an incredible showing. I could come out here, I could pick 10 bunches a day with how many sunflowers are opening up. Can't sell that many, so I'm not, but I'm really enjoying kind of this last fireworks finale that the sunflower patch is giving us. Most of the flowers that we grow are, you know, summertime prime flowers, but this crop here, Globe Amaranth, this is a newer one that we grew this year, and the time that it really shines is in the fall. And we've been really loving this. They feel like straw flowers. They feel so amazing, and all the colors are starting to bloom. This is one of our favorite patches inches in the flower farm right now. One of the things that we're extra excited about with the Globe Amaranth is how well it dries. We're actually doing a big experiment drying lots of stuff. Here's some of the Liatris, which we're really excited how good it looks dried as well too. Pretty much at any point when I have a bouquet that doesn't sell, I've been hanging them up all year long, drying them. And so now I have a few boxes of these dried flowers, and once frost comes and all my flowers die, I'm gonna start trying to put together some dried flower bouquets for the market in hopes to, you know, still be able to make our stand beautiful and still be able to sell some flowers even though, you know, the season's basically over. Since we're up on the backside of our carport farm stand, which is where I hang the flowers, we might as well show you what we have, our little self-serve spot. We've been really happy with how the sales have been doing out of here. You know, a little bit every day really adds up to a lot for us. And you know, today's a Friday. We find Fridays are one of the days that, you know, a lot of the locals, they come and they're stocking up for the weekend. So we're selling a lot out of here, and it has us really excited for what we can do in the future for on-farm sales. And look, we got a fridge. Oh, look, come buy our eggs. Especially come buy our eggs, because we actually have a lot today.
This week we're not doing the farmers market. This is our first week that we've taken the farmers market off. So it's extra important that we sell out of the carport and that we have that available to us. We're still setting up on the road on Sunday. Hopefully there's lots of demand this weekend and people drop by and we can make, you know, a reasonable amount of money selling our food. Our sales have been slowing down. They've been down a little bit lately, and that's not really going to rebound. But we still want to make a good push into the fall, and we don't really want to, you know, just let off the gas completely. We're taking a little bit of a break right now, but then we want to get back on it because our farmers market transitions at the end of October. It goes indoors, and we can sell, you know, basically all winter if we want to. If we have winter produce coming out, there's a place to sell it, and there's people who will come and buy it. Come check out our chickens. They're very calm little happy birds. Our lazy ladies get breakfast in bed practically every day because, you know, we're always cropping something out, and we'll just make a big old pile right over here, and they just get to feast on, you know, like, here's 30 zucchinis, and they just, you know, they're living a good life. But they weren't really being aggressive enough at going after all the grasshoppers, and so we started to not give them breakfast in bed and have the food dropped right here, but drop it further down their run, because they have about a half acre here, and we wanted them to start feeling comfortable exploring it more, and it seems to be working. You know, a lot of the times when I come down here now, they're scattered all across the run. Hey, no fighting. Over there we have a very skittish bird that is the only one who gets a name. Her name is Goldie. Well, actually that's wrong. There's two birds that have a name. There's Goldie, who is our lightest colored bird, and then there's another light colored bird who is called Fake Gold, and they're the only two that get names. But Goldie gets picked on, but I know that all of our birds are so nice because she's not really even missing any feathers. So I think there's always going to be some sort of hierarchy, and that's unavoidable. And it's nice to know that even the bird that's picked on doesn't get picked on too bad.
So you all send me messages and you say, oh, Serena, I wish I was as good of a gardener as you. You have no weeds. You grow so amazing. My garden's a weedy mess. So feel better about yourself, because my garden is also a weedy mess. This is the section where we planted all of our fall crops, and then I didn't weed it because I've been too busy. But this is still gonna work out fine. We have 2 beds of winter kales in here. These are kales that are winter hardy. We have Siberian, which is a flat leaf variety, and then winter boar, which is a frilly one. And then I also planted a bunch of carrots in here. I have a lot of carrots. I was worried because our carrots were selling so fast that I wasn't gonna have any full-size carrots in the beds for winter sales. So I planted up, you know, what is this? 3 whole beds of carrots. This isn't gonna do anything. This is a weedy mess. I'm not in a rush to till it or clean it up. I can do that come spring. If they do something, I can dig up some baby carrots. If they don't, I actually do in fact have 3 full beds of carrots in the farm that we will be having available to sell all fall at that market that Ian was talking about. So it's fine to have weeds. That's the moral of the story. You can have some weeds. This cucumber here has been our absolute favorite this year. It is called Martini, and I bought it because I am a sucker for seed catalogs. But yeah, super cool, like white little snacking size cucumber, and it's really tasty, and it's been really productive. I want to grow this again. Unfortunately, it didn't sell well enough for me to really justify growing it again, but so I'll have to do some crop planting. I would like to see it. But you know, considering we're mid-September here, I'm pretty happy to see the cucumbers still going. The tomatoes, they're still, you know, every week I come down here, there's lots to pick. This tomato cucumber greenhouse is doing really well for us. These cucumbers here, this has been our like #1 seller, and I'm tempted to just only grow this one again. This is Tasty Green. It's a Japanese cucumber, but you know, it has everything that is enjoyable about an English cucumber, and then they're really productive and really good. These, we have them growing here in the greenhouse, but they don't need to be grown in a greenhouse. These you can grow out in the field, and then obviously they're super straight because they're grown with the trellis. If you grow them on the ground, they get, you know, twisty. Here's an example. They get twisty. Hello! But they still taste great. So highly recommend this.
We do sell at farmers markets, and everybody knows that if you go to a farmers market, you might expect to pay a slightly higher price. It is nice to have things that people perceive as a good value for their dollar. And when, you know, I sell one of these for $2 or 3 for $5, you know, people grab 3 of these and they're absolutely delicious. Like, I have people come back and being like, whoa, those cucumbers were so sweet, and they want more. But 3 for $5, people look at that and they see a lot of value in it. With these ones, you know, it's a harder sell because they're not as like long, and you know, they just don't look as significant. Even if you scale down the price for them, people still aren't as excited about these. You know, I'm really excited about these. These drove sales.
This tomato is been so good, and it's been selling really well for us. This is Pink Berkeley tie-dye. The flavor is really good. You know, it's all stripy, which is so fun for the look. And you know, we have to charge a premium. We're selling, you know, high quality vine ripened tomatoes. We can't sell them for the same price as like garbage field green tomatoes. But people are happy to pay for this because it looks like a specialty tomato. So I think we're going to be growing a lot more of this in the years to come. You know, maybe less tomatoes, but more of this Pink Berkeley tie-dye specifically. But you know, we have to enjoy this greenhouse and these summer crops as much as we can this month, because when that frost comes in, even though this is covered, this isn't really going to be protected from frost. When the frost comes, it's going to be so cold that it's going to, you know, take out this greenhouse too. So the days are numbered for our tomatoes. So my precious, I have to get all my love in.
With fall rapidly approaching, this is a transitional time at the farm, and it is sad to see the end of the tomatoes and the cucumbers and the zucchinis. You know, they're still here, but it won't be long. But it feels better because Serena's been on the ball this year about preserving. So she's made lots of tomato sauce that's frozen and lots of sun-dried tomatoes, and she did a round of hot sauce, and she's been, you know, just lots of preserving. We still have a lot of tomatoes that we're gonna put in the freezer. So it feels good to know that we still are gonna have all that fresh tasting stuff that we love all through the winter. And coming back into season is all the delicious lettuce and greens that we didn't even know we loved lettuce until we started growing Salanova. And then, you know, it's like the best lettuce in the world. It tastes so good, but it's not really as good during the summer. It's definitely it needs the cool weather. So it's exciting that that is coming back. You know, we still got lots of carrots in the ground. We still have the beets. I really like eating beets. It's a staple of my diet. So, you know, I feel like I've been eating well, and I'm not so sad to see it go. We've done really well this year. You know, we really have worked our butts off, and we're very tired. So it's not the end of the world to, you know, have a couple days to just sit on our butt and try to just soak it all in, you know, while it's still comfortable out here, because, you know, Canada, even we're being in one of the nicest spots in Canada, here in Kelowna, you know, we still get a serious winter, and it is coming.
I struggle a little bit to know what to even share with you guys at this point. I've reached the point with the farm where I've stared at it so long that I'm basically just going cross-eyed. And I look out and all I see is the mess that, you know, I've decided I'm just not going to clean up. The things that need to get ripped out to clean up the farm to be ready for spring next year. And, you know, also the stuff that's coming, but it doesn't look exciting yet, right? So, you know, I've things like the you know, spring planted Swiss chard and kale, and, you know, I look at it, it's starting to get a little sad. You know, even this kale, it's slowing down. And then I have my fall planted Swiss chard and kale, and I don't feel excited about this stuff yet because it's still just growing. It's still just getting to the point that I'm gonna start harvesting it. But I've also been staring at those older crops for so long that, you know, I feel like I don't have anything left to say on them. I feel a little bit like there isn't much in the farm, but that's silly because the farm is still just filled to the brim with food. You know, these 2 beds of beets here, these are my early planted. We've been picking off of it and selling out of these all summer, and there's still tons and tons of food in here, right? I still have, you know, 6 weeks of beets that I can pick out of here. And behind me, you know, this is an entire 50-foot bed of carrot. There's thousands of carrots in there. I'll be able to be providing people with carrots, you know, well into the fall, early winter. So even though I don't feel like there is anything exciting here, there's still a ton of food. Mr. Rooster, be quiet, please. This bed of kale has me really encouraged though going into the fall. This was planted to try to sell baby kale in the spring. We did not harvest it. All summer, I completely neglected this bed. I was supposed to rip it out, replant it with something that would sell, something that, you know, would be good for us. But now, cooler nights, you know, transitioning into those fall days, this has exploded. I have so much really delicious, really beautiful, cold hardy kale in this bed. You know, seeing this happen encourages me that even though at this point I'm seeing a lot of mistakes that I made this year, you know, maybe some of those mistakes are salvageable in the same way that, you know, this bed that was basically garbage all summer has really come back and surprised us. I've had a lot of things that have actually been failures here on the farm this year, and this you know, flowery green is a good example. This is my flat leaf parsley. Super early in the year it went to seed. It's not supposed to go seed. It's supposed to, you know, keep producing parsley for me all season long. But it ended up being something that I've turned into a success. We have been picking these, you know, parsley flowers and using this as, you know, one of my favorite fillers in the bouquets ever since it's gone to seed. So I've been picking this and selling this and still, you know, making money out of this crop for the last, you know, five or 4 weeks, and it's provided a lot of value, even though it is a complete screw up on my part. Another example is my cilantro. Cilantro goes to seed so quickly here with our hot summers. I actually succession plant it every 2 weeks to be able to have cilantro, you know, herbs for the market. But this year I have been picking the cilantro after it goes seed. It has these beautiful little purpley flowers, and it makes these really fun seed pods that give like some nice texture to the bouquets. So on this cilantro crop too, I'm kind of getting double duty out of it by using it both, you know, for food and for flowers. We're both feeling pretty burnt out at this point. We've been, you know, going hard, giving it our all since April, which...
Or earlier than that.
Well, we've been growing since earlier than that, but it's been full on, you know, go hard every day since April. And so, you know, when I think of it that way, it makes sense that I'm starting to drag my heels a little bit. I'm realizing as we're going to film this video, and I'm trying to think like, what is it that's going on? What is it that's exciting and that I need to talk about? And I'm brain dead. I can't even figure out what it is anymore that's kind of, other than like, I know what I'm doing tomorrow. I know what I'm doing, you know, a week from now, and I know what I'm doing a month from now. But we're starting to get to the point that we're losing the capacity to look at big picture.
What's exciting for me is tonight I get more than 2 hours of sleep because I don't have to do the market tomorrow morning.
Yeah, we're taking the day off from the market. We've, as Ian said earlier, you know, we've done some food preserving this week, which feels really nice to know that
we didn't have time
has
to do
been
that
done.
last year.
Taking this little bit of time, I'm hoping will, you know, get us a little bit refreshed. We'll be able to, you know, have some clarity on what's going on in the farm. You know, we're almost done with the planting. And then at that point, it's just, you know, only harvesting, which is half the work. Other than the fact that we have fall bulbs coming, and then that will be a crazy 2 weeks. But we're wrapping up, and even though we still have, you know, ideally another 2 full months, you know, maybe even 3 months of sales. Everything's gonna get a lot more simpler, and we can start taking all the chaos that's up here somewhere, floating out here, stuff it back in there, start organizing it, and start getting ready for 2021. Because, you know, we need to take everything that we failed at, and everything that we succeeded at, everything that we learned, and everything that we didn't learn from last year.
Which is like everything that we learned last year we didn't learn. And
we need to narrow that into a plan for year 3 so that, you know, we're set for that year 5 success. That's, you know, always the end goal. Profitability by year 5.
Cucamelons aren't the type of thing you're gonna get rich selling, you know. They grow pretty good here in this like super hot little hothouse, greenhouse thing we have. But even still, you know, it takes a while to add up to any sort of volume because they're so tiny. And what I really wanted them for this year is kind of like a free sample type thing, and we're not allowed to do samples at the farmers markets. That's one of the COVID rules. So last year we brought them a couple times down to the market, and everybody was just like, what are these? You know, if you're watching a farming or gardening video on YouTube, chances are you've seen people talk about cucamelons, but the average person in public, you know, they probably haven't seen cucamelons and don't know about them, or like a kid has never seen them. And so people would come up to the stand and inevitably they'd look at them in these like little boxes and they'd be like, what are those? It was just a good icebreaker. It was a good way to talk to people. It was the same with the ground cherries. Lots of people really liked trying the ground cherries. And so I was like, without the ability for people to try them, it hasn't even been worth like picking them for the market really. So they're really just hanging out on the vine, and every now and then I'll come in here and I'll have a little smorgasbord. But other than that, there's really no reason to grow these for us.
Here is something that I'm really excited about, since Ian's showing off how excited he is about the cucamelons. We gotta leave it on a positive note. This is how I have been dealing with the fact that we really shouldn't have grown 1,500 heads of garlic, because we haven't had that many sales with the COVID, you know, being slower. But this is habanero garlic salt. This is like 50% garlic, 50% salt, with a ton of habaneros in it because they're poisonally hot. So I had to figure out a way to use them up. But oh, everyone this has been in my dehydrator for the last 48 hours. Everyone that I've talked to that stopped at the farm stand has been, oh, it's your garlic, it smells so amazing. Because our entire carport area is just filled with the smell of this spicy garlic salt, and like I'm drooling, like I'm probably spitting drool all over it because it smells so good. And this will be 100% shelf stable. This, you know, we don't have to use it all in the next year. This can last us a couple years, and looks good. Looks so good.
To eat some.
No way. I'll eat like a piece. Oh, it's spicy. It's actually spicy. It's like the habaneros are hot enough that you could put, you know, salt onto your thing and make it spicy. Or my level of spicy. Oh, it's spicy. Okay, we gotta go because we have tomato preserving to do, and that's actually gonna be our next video. So see you guys next time.